Jennie O'Sullivan with Social Superstar Secrets and Millionaires Academy, and I'm very thrilled to introduce you to my friend Jennie Armato. Hello, Jennie.
Hi, Sid. Hello, everyone. Great to be here today. Thanks for your time.
Well, thank you for joining us. And now you guys are going to love Jennie because she is not only a very, very seasoned internet and social media expert, having been online pretty much since the beginning of the internet, and we don't really like to get into too much detail on that, but they call her the godmother of the internet. And she's been teaching people how to create millionaire businesses for many, many years using the internet and websites and online business, but she's now also become an expert in mobile apps. So I'm really excited about that because she's going to bring a whole other spectrum to this whole conversation of making profit with social media. Thank you, Jennie.
Thanks, Sid, heaps for having us on. I'm so excited, and the reason I keep saying thanks is because I know there's a lot of people just like I was a couple of years ago when I first started investigating mobile apps. There's so much mystery and even some confusion around exactly what an app is and why would it matter to someone who runs a business. And so the opportunity for me to connect with you and your audience today is the opportunity to cut through all the clutter and leave out the confusing code and get into the bits that are all about how you and I can make our business grow better using something called mobile apps. So I'm going to be focusing us in today on the strategic approach to apps on mobile devices with the intention of building another, not only income stream, but more importantly, another profit stream. So I'm really excited about that. And it reminds me of when I was on the internet in 2002 to 2005, and I started teaching people at that point about doing business on the internet. And once again, there was so much confusion and uncertainty about what were the true powers of the internet for business. And of course, knowing this new frontier that we're in, I'm calling it the future frontier of cash flow, really, on mobile devices. You know, we're in that same space again where most business people are certainly aware of apps. They're aware that it's something maybe they should be doing, but not really clear about why. So I want to give you a little bit of background, and then I want to give you a handful of key elements of why these are so important to our ongoing sustainable cash flow. In fact, I'm going to give you 8 fundamentals of why mobile apps are so magical for entrepreneurs like us. So when you're ready, I'm good to go.
So I want to just give a little introduction so that people know a little bit about you and why you are worth listening to. And I very much I was so impressed when I interviewed you for my last book, Social Marketing Superstars, in that Jennie just brought a whole other dynamic to the conversation, and she's going to do that again today. So Jennie's story: whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the heart can achieve. That's an upgrade she made from the original saying by Napoleon Hill, who we all know is the author of Think and Grow Rich, to fit with today's world and how we do business in this new economy. That working from your heart makes running a business complete. Feeling out of alignment, uncertain, and with eroding self-confidence, Jen searched for change on a belief that there must be a better, more caring, supportive, and even loving way to do business today. She thought surely others, especially women, experienced similar challenges and desires for that change too. She went in search of new ways, a new order in this new economy and this new era of communications and technology. She discovered there are new and exciting ways to build a business, and we are going to talk about that today.
Beautiful. So I'm ready to go if you are, Sid.
Oh, yeah, and here we go. I've got your books up now. So we've got she authored The Webpreneur Millionaire, Return from Adversity, Inspired Entrepreneurs, The Law of Alignment, Why My Life is Like This, and her soon-to-be-released latest book, The Appreneur Millionaire, The Mobile Economy. She's actually a public speaker, sought after around the world, a mentor, collaboration leader, and creative programs that educate and empower entrepreneurs who want to lead. Her signature programs include the Entrepreneur Superstar Success Master Plan, 120 Days to 120K, the Shine Online system, as well as the range of free webinar and video education courses delivered online. So you actually look after you've got a very long bio.
Yeah,
now
we
we go
can
to...
slide if you like.
This is all about when she spoke at TEDx, which was really exciting, and she also went to the Napoleon Hill Mastermind. And you ended up with didn't you end up with the original Napoleon Hill book?
I did. It's actually personally signed by him. It was signed not long before his death, and at that convention I actually got to present with his grandson, J.B. Hill. So that was a real highlight of my career, to have that much of a direct connection, because he really is the grandfather of personal development and human potential. You know, a lot of today's very successful motivational and human potential type speakers all refer back to Napoleon stuff. So,
yes,
you know, it has a very deep and profound power and also meaning for people. If you know his work and respect it, you probably appreciate why we're both a bit awestruck by that distinction. But,
I remember you were very, very
excited.
excited. And Jenny's also quite a passionate social entrepreneur, which is one of the things that we have a lot of fun with, because she likes to do a lot of charity work. We're both passionate supporters of microfinance for entrepreneurs around the world, and she supports the Kiva.org program and has established a new economy entrepreneur team in the Kiva community. So I don't know whether we'll get a chance to talk about that, but we should definitely try and touch on that, because we both love spreading the word, don't we, about microlending?
Oh, I'd love to. Yeah, definitely. You know, empowerment is what makes a difference in today's world for people that get ahead and people that get caught in the rut, really. You know, so it's pretty fundamental. So look, there's a slide there. I've got the Future Frontiers of Cash Flow apps for entrepreneurs. Is that one up and ready to go?
Yep, that's the one we're on. Yep, we've got that up. So.
Beautiful. So I'm going to be referring to us post this slide as appreneurs, which is really, I'm talking about apps for entrepreneurs. Now, in the category of entrepreneurs, I'm including people like authors and presenters or public speakers, business owners, independent consultants and contractors, and most of all, any individual leader who considers themselves a leader, whether it's just in their speciality, if it's in their marketplace, or in the entire industry that they are involved in. If you're a person of distinction and recognition in your field, or you at least want to be recognised as that if you're still building up to that level, then what I'm going to be teaching you today is absolutely critical, not only to your positioning and obviously the bottom line of your business, but keeping you on the cutting edge and at the leading front with your competition following you 1, 2 and 3 years from now. So if that sounds like you, then this presentation is for you. If you're kind of just happy cruising along and not really interested in, you know, being on the front line, so to speak, and being, you know, perceived in that way or having that sort of brand recognition, then probably doing something as exciting and as, you know, cutting edge as what we're talking about today with mobile apps probably won't be of interest to you, and maybe you know, might want to revisit this 12 months or 2 years from now. And I remember when I used to teach in the early last decade, you know, about getting into business on the internet, and I used to stand on the stage and I went, everyone should do this, you know, and I'd be crazy that people didn't embrace it. It took me a while to learn that, you know what, really, there is a divide. You know, there's a reason why 5% shine in any market or any industry. It's because they're prepared to go where others aren't prepared to go, and they're prepared to invest, you know, 45 minutes of their time, which is what we're going to spend today, to get the strategic way to go about something so that you can actually get the true benefits from it and not be someone that just follows the pack, or worse still, goes out on your own trying to figure it out and then wonders why it doesn't work out, you know. So I'm very clear these days, having had so many years in the marketplace mentoring business owners and entrepreneurs, you know, that group of people I've distinguished there, that I realise now that my conversations are for people that want to lead. And if you want to do that, I can take you on a journey that will give you the power and the tools of influence that will get you there. Social media is definitely one part of those, and we're going to touch on that through this, because mobile and social are absolutely interwoven. They're both part of the same ecosystem of communication and commerce. So look, on this first slide, I just want to clear up a couple of basic points. What is an app for anyone that's not quite sure, but you know that you are that person that I described earlier? It's simply an abbreviation for the word application. And for those of you that still aren't sure, that say, well, that's great, but what's an application? Well, an application in technical terms is just simply software. So we've known about software programs forever and a day, and apps are nothing more than that. They just have a more visual and an easy interface these days to what software had, 10, 20, 30 years ago. What makes it super exciting is that because apps are software and not, for example, a static page on a website, so if you want to draw that distinction, the possibilities are literally endless. With software, it's only limited by the creator's imagination. If you can dream it, it can be apt or it can be made into software. So that's kind of exciting. And software can be super duper complicated or super duper simple. And it's all a question of what it is that you want to do with such powers in your hands. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I like the way you pre-framed the conversation, so thank you for that, because thanks for pre-framing the whole conversation, because truly a lot of people won't be ready, but definitely it's something they should know about, and you might be readier than you think.
Oh, absolutely. And what I've put here in these 8 fundamentals is pretty much everything you need to know to at least make that first step. And when you invited me onto this and you said it was called Superstar Secrets, I thought, okay, well, sure, I'm obviously recognised as a superstar in my field, but it's really the secrets to being the superstar. And when I looked at that, I thought I must make sure I make that distinction, that these are secrets for superstars, not just secrets of superstars, for me anyway.
No, I agree. Thank you for the distinction, because I particularly invited people to come and share how, my mission is to help all the business owners out there that are finding this all a bit overwhelming, and sort of declutter it and help them understand it's really not as overwhelming as it seems, and these are the things that you need to know to put some profit in your business, be using the new technologies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so now that we've kind of got an idea of what an app is, and the fact that if you can imagine if I could do this, then somebody can build that app for you, in the format of a piece of software. So why are they more popular? Like everything's apps now. We're really in the planet of the apps, and we're never going to go back to analog. It's a digital world now, so applications pretty much drive everything. Anything that you do that's electronic is driven through software or an app. So, but why have they become so much more popular now than ever before? Well, it was really with initially the phones, our mobile phones, or cell phones, going from being just a telephone into what we know as a smartphone. So all of a sudden, on these little handheld devices, we were able to do a heap more than just make a phone call. And in that do a heap more was the concept that a phone is a storage center, therefore it could be used as a storage center for software, just like a computer can be used as a storage center for software. You've got desktop apps and operation systems, that's an app. And so with handheld devices, as soon as there was space made on the phone or on the device to store digital data or information or code in the case of software, that was what really was the turning point. And so, of course, organisations like Apple, and you can see the 2 icons there, Apple got involved because they saw it as an extension to their core business and obviously an enhancement to iTunes. So they opened up something called the App Store. Most people recognise that A symbol there. And then next to that, the Android market, of course, Google, realised that the world was going mobile. And if you haven't realised that yet, wake up to that now, because this isn't going to change. And in fact, in some countries, the number of mobile phones registered exceeds the population, adult population of that country, which means that in some cases there's 2 or more phones per person. So
wow.
This is not a fad, and this is not something that just suits today. The concept of being mobile is here to stay. And in a way, the evolution of man has almost gone full circle in the sense that we're back to being nomads now, right? I mean, we can work from anywhere, anytime, any way we want to in today's, economy. And any entrepreneur, especially app or web entrepreneurs, if we've got a connection to the internet, we're in the game, even if we've just got a mobile phone. So this change is so fundamental that if you don't move with it, you will become irrelevant in your market. And that might take a couple of years in your industry, depends on the industry you're in, but you will become irrelevant. Just like if you don't even have a web page up today, you're just not in the game. Even plumbers and basic tradesmen, basic contractor type people, you've got to have some sort of web presence, at the very least some presence on Facebook, or social media, some sort of professional profile and a way for people to connect with you on what you do. And we're moving more and more away from these big corporate structures too, and moving more into individual contractors. And so having an electronic way for people to find out about you, whether you're there or not, whether you want to answer your phone or not, is really key in today's world. And so these digital native children that are coming up now, we're nearly at our first generation of digital natives, which means children that are going to enter adulthood. We're only a couple of years away from it, and all they know is this digital world. They have no concept of the world prior to digitisation, and things like apps to them are second nature. So as they become the main spending demographic, if you don't have and access and allow them to access you and what you do via the mechanisms that they embrace, they simply won't bother with you. It's that fundamental. So pretty much I think I've made the point there. What do you think, Sid?
Yeah, no, that was really good. Thank you for explaining that.
Okay, great.
You ready to move
on?
Okay.
Yeah. So what makes an app powerful for business? Because one of the problems with the endless possibilities is that it's endless or infinitum. So what we've got to be able to do is narrow down for business what it is that an app would be able to do for us, at least at a level 1, okay? So when I say level 1, it can still be fairly sophisticated, like pretty cool tools, and when I show you the fundamentals, level 1 can do, it's still like pretty wow factor. You've got to start somewhere though, and the key is to go beyond what most people will do, which is just get an app so they can say they've got an app, but not have the tools or the tactics built within that app, if you like, or in that software that makes it cool. So what I want to make sure we do is just nail down what fundamentally, as I said, I've got 8 fundamentals, but before that, what makes an app powerful for business? So I've basically made it 3 categories for you: a great concept, great design, and great value. So if you're going to build an app, you don't want to end up the app at the end that nobody ever opens or doesn't even remember, right? You want an app that people really value and think about and possibly even encourage other people to get to. That's what a leader or a superstar does, Sid, right? We don't mess around with playing like the pack. We look for ways to stand out. And these 3 areas, concept, design, and value, this is the first, if you like, the foundation to developing an app or an idea for an app that will make yours powerful against what most people will do, which will be the same as everyone else. It won't add any value. No one will remember it or ever use it. And even if they do, it's so clunky that they can't be bothered with it, right? Okay. That's what the majority do, but that's not what superstars do. So let me explain great concept, great design, great value. Great concept, simple solutions to everyday problems. This is where I start when I'm consulting with people. You can have a basic app that just has information about your business. We're going to talk about all of that. If you want an app that people remember and use and even recommend, in other words, it has a viral element to it that other people would find valuable too, then the first protocol is to develop an idea that's a simple solution to an everyday problem. So a quick little case study here to set the scene. I was consulting with Rick and Jane Otten, who run an organisation here in Australia called We Buy Houses. And I gave them this concept that, you know what, if you're going to do something that stands out, I don't want to just build you any old app. You need an app that provides solutions to the problems that your market has. What's a simple little thing that we could turn into software that would make all the difference for them? Well, in giving them that framework, within just a couple of minutes, we figured out one of the things that they have for what they do, the way they buy houses is in their own almost unique finance structure, right? So it's not like you and I going and borrowing. So a normal mortgage calculator for them is not, they don't use a normal mortgage
It's
calculator.
not relevant.
Like
it's not relevant to their market.
That's
yeah.
Right. So what they said was, well, you know what, and I said, so what happens in a typical scenario? And they say, well, they could be driving around the streets or whatever, and they see a home for sale, and they'll jot down the information, and then they'll go home and look it up on the internet, and then they'll run the numbers on their calculator and see if it's a viable proposition for them.
Go.
So let me give an example. I did a consultation recently with Rick and Jane Otten, who run a business called We Buy Houses, and they have a completely different way of financing for their properties that when they buy a house. So I didn't know that at the time, but what I asked them was, what is a simple solution to an everyday problem that your marketplace has that you could offer? Well, their calculator solution was what we came up with. And the reason for it was this, that in a normal scenario, their audience, the people that buy houses under their system, they drive to a property, they record down the details, they give the agent a call, then they go back home, and then they go online and they find out more information, and then they sit down with their calculator and they calculate out then if it's a viable proposition for them financially or not. And so by them outlining a common problem that their people have, or what their day looks like when they're using their product, the idea came up, if we actually build an app that promotes everything about their business, so all their products and services and anything else that they want to share, and I'll talk about what you can share in an app in the fundamentals when we get to them. If they could actually also provide that calculator for their market, then the scenario would change, that they're driving along, they see a property, they can make a call to the agent if they can't find the price easily, find out what the price range is for it, and while they're sitting in front of the property, they can run the numbers and work out whether it's viable or not, save the data into the app, and they've got it with them wherever they go. And obviously when they get back home, they've already done the homework, or if they want to go straight to their financier or make a call straight to their broker even. You know, it solves a problem, right? Yeah, you know, it solves a problem of time and, you know, then having to draw on all these different resources and wait till they get back home to do it all. And simply by having an app that they could access on their mobile phone, they've got now a common problem that they have. And I said to them, in that scenario, that's so powerful that they could even charge for that. And their response was, well, we wouldn't want it. We'd want everyone in our market to get it for free, because obviously if we get them on our app, we're able to communicate with them and do business with them in other ways. And the fact that they're injecting that value into the marketplace makes them the people that stand out, makes them the superstars in their industry, you know.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's an excellent example of a simple solution to an everyday problem that an investor like their market has. And so that's, you know, coming up with that great concept. It doesn't have to be, you know, a world-changing event that you come up with. Something as simple as that, though, makes life so much easier. And those people that do those investments in that style, they wouldn't be without that little calculator, right? That's like, you know, so fundamental to what they do. And no one else in their marketplace is doing anything like it. So all of a sudden, Rick and Jane become the standouts. They're the superstars. Plus, they're the guys on the cutting edge that are meeting the market where the market's at. Remembering the majority of the world are mobile, all of a sudden now they're meeting the audience that they want where they're at. So that's what I mean by a simple solution.
Yeah, it's like I remember when the iPods first came out. You know, you could buy those little mini ones, you know, the little tiny, I think you can buy them for about $50 now. And people, some of the smart educators were downloading stuff that they used to sell by CD, they started putting them onto these little iPods. And that little thing, because it's so convenient for people, could be the deciding factor over whether somebody decided to buy a $5,000 training or not.
Absolutely, because it was cutting edge, and it was different, and the fact that people could carry the education with them was a major attraction in the marketplace. And I was actually in the speaking industry when that sort of thing was going on. Those people selling courses or information on memory sticks and even USB sticks, and those sorts of devices and the mini iPods, like you said, they were the ones making the sales, and they were the ones people were looking up to because they were ahead of their competitors. Their competitors were still giving them chunky, big home study packs that they had to lug around,
Yeah. And now I'm seeing people have great results by offering a free iPad or something with the course. People will it just makes that deciding factor for people because it's a toy and it's fun and it's a convenience, isn't it? That's the thing you're offering is a major convenience that they can see the value in.
Absolutely. And if you're providing something within your app, like a simple solution to something as well, then all of a sudden, not only is it just that you're that leader in those ways, or even the novelty, after the novelty's gone, it's still like, this is what I wouldn't be without. So that, simple solution to an everyday problem, that's the starting point for a powerful app, the type of app that a superstar would have to stand out from the pack, and most importantly, to be not only perceived as the leader, but actually be the leader because you're doing something decent and valuable for the market, which brings me to the next two elements of what makes an app powerful for us is great design. And so any sort of app work that you do, whether you just get a basic business level app, like I said earlier, there's all types of apps you can get. It doesn't matter how sophisticated your app is, but it does matter how nice it is to the eye and how easy it is to the thumb or the finger to tap. So good design will differentiate one app from another. There's so many apps that I've downloaded and they're clunky to use, like they're not a pleasure, and who can be bothered with something that's hard to use? You want something that is pleasant to your eye and your thumb first and foremost, because otherwise people aren't going to do any actions on the app if it's not easy to use. And the key to that is having just a good graphics person on your team. And I know the website industry went through this whole phase of websites didn't need to look good. Well, in the mobile economy, presentation is paramount. If you've got a poor-looking app, even if you've got the best solution in the world, if it's not pleasant to the eye and easy to use with the thumb or the finger, it won't matter how great it is, people won't bother. And again, it'll be another distinction because a leader or a superstar would spend the money, would make the investment, even on a very cheap Indian or Pakistan-based, designer, will actually just invest that little bit of money, like you're doing when you get your logo and your basic artwork done for your envelopes or whatever you do in your business. You pay a professional to do that. You don't cut those corners. And that really matters in the app world. It is an element of stuff that the marketplace has, and it's one to be aware of, and it's one that could just turn people off if you don't do it. And believe me, a lot of your competitors won't bother, and that will be in itself a point of difference. I can see the conversation where people say, it's not as, it's not as great as the other app, but it's so much easier to use, right?
Yeah.
So that'll be an easy point of distinction. You've probably had that conversation about things, your views. I know I have.
Yep.
Yeah. So good design, getting someone on your team that's good at graphics is all we're talking about there. Again, you don't have to become smart in software development or anything like that. Just good, clean lines and good contemporary design, and any good graphics person will be able to achieve that for you. And then the third element, great value. And this is really key. I want it, and I want it now. We live in the now economy as much as anything else. Instant gratification has become part of the daily expectations in this world. If your phone cuts out or your internet drops off for 2 minutes, people are climbing up the walls, right? They don't like things that take a lot of time to load, or anything that isn't as convenient as instant turns people off, and it turns you and me off. We react to that as well. So being aware of being valuable to people and not bogging them down in laborious tasks or activities inside an app, or having to, tap through 10 times before they get to the information. Think of it like a website. Who can be bothered hanging around a website that doesn't add value easily for me?
Yeah.
I can't be bothered with it, and people are off, and so they will be in the app arena as well. So look, those 3 points, as obvious as they sound when I go through them, if you don't have these in your consciousness and you're not aware of the difference and how these foundations will be the differentiation between just a business that gets business because they've got a good app versus one that doesn't. Because most of your competition won't become aware of this. It's as simple as that. So this is the insider, I guess, to knowing, even though the industry is fairly new, but that information I've just presented to you, they're not my ideas as, my own independent thoughts. This has come from proven testing and measuring that's already taken place in the app market. What does it take to have a standout app? And, there are already research being done and processes being tested to know the difference. So you've got some real insider ideas and information there for the foundation of all of this. So are you right there, Sid?
Yep.
Looking good?
Yep, good stuff.
Go on?
Yep, I've just changed slides.
Beautiful. So the next thing I want to do now is just move into these 8 fundamentals of why mobile apps are what I call magical, because once I found out what I could do, not only was the possibilities endless based only on my imagination, but what the technology alone does, even if I have no imagination at all. In other words, if I couldn't think of a simple solution to an everyday problem, these 8 fundamentals I'm going to share to you will still work for you and your app irrespective. So if you have the most boring app in the world in terms of solutions, there's still magical powers within that app that will bring you business anyway. Now, is that good or good? I mean, honestly,
that's great. I love the way you think. I just love the way you do business.
Thanks, Sid. So what I'm going to do now is present these fundamentals that will work for you no matter what, so long as you've got them built into your app. It's as simple as that. Because this technology is all existent right now. In other words, you can get this pretty much from any app provider, and if you can't, then change app providers, right? It's their limitation, not the market's limitation. That's really important for you to understand. So if you're dealing with someone that can't provide any one of these, that's a signal to change, because these technologies are well and truly operational and mainstream. Once you're in the arena, you discover that. And I'd hate someone to go down the path of getting a $2,000, $3,000 or even $5,000 app built and then have one of these fundamentals missing from it. So what are they? Well, fundamental number 1, all your ideas, no matter what they are, as that individual leader or the superstar in your industry, any and all of your ideas, your inspiration if you want to share that, any information that you want to share, any innovations that you want to share, can be all put into an app and sold automatically, with the marketplace having 24/7 access. In other words, you can build in a complete...
Jenny?
Yep.
Can you hear me? I've just lost your sound a little bit. Can you move the phone? Great, thanks. So everybody will have to bear with us because Jenny's also calling from another city. So we're just doing the best we can.
Is that better?
That's much better. Perfect. Thank you.
All right. Okay, great. So the fundamental number 1 is that you can do anything in terms of trading in your business through an app. So you can have things like in-app sales. So it actually opens up a whole new sales channel or marketing and sales channel for your business in addition to your website. Plus it can be linked to your website. So it is actually another fully functional marketing stream. And when you've got companies like Apple and Google, or if you think about the App Store and Android market that I mentioned earlier, you've got them promoting your app and bringing you traffic, a marketplace, in addition to the marketing that you're already doing in your own promotions, whether it's online or offline. So it is of itself a complete and entire business. and it actually, an app can be the only electronic mechanism that you have. So if you don't want a website or you don't want to do any of that, you could have every element of your business built into an app. Now, I actually don't recommend that because that would make it a big app, right? But I think you get the point and why I'm mentioning that they are a complete standalone system within themselves. Plus, they can link to everything you're already doing online or doing digitally. So anything and everything that you do in your business can be, if you like, pushed through the app and out into not only your existing marketplace, but also out to a brand new marketplace that Android and Apple can bring to you too. So that's the whole conversation in itself, isn't it? You know, the marketing of the app and opening up that whole new frontier. But what I want to impress in this fundamental is that anything and everything can be shared and sold, and that your marketplace has 24/7 access to everything that you do. So in addition to your website, you've got a whole new sales funnel working for you if you choose to have that. And any leader or superstar, you know, that really wants to own that space and have the rewards that come with it, why wouldn't you? Okay, so the next slide, I've just given you a couple of examples of where I've taken my own ideas, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time here, but I just wanted to paint a picture for you based on that first fundamental and the 3 criteria I went through before that, the foundations of, you know, a great concept, great design, great value. Taking everything that we've already put into consideration, here's an example of an app that I have. It's called the Event Profits app. And what it does is, instead of it just being a basic information app about an event, so you could actually build a basic app if you want, if you run your own public events, and people could get the agenda on there and other bits and pieces if they wanted to. Well, I'm going a couple of steps further because I want to open up that idea of making this a complete and additional sales funnel for my business. So in this particular app, what I'm going to be able to do is promote pre-event. So I'm looking at this for a public event. I can do all the promotion in the lead up to the event through the app by adding value, you know, going back to that 3 criteria. And obviously any ticket sales, all of that sort of stuff, I can push it all through the app. All that business and all that marketing can be done through the app. It can come from your website through the app, or it can be built into the app. That's entirely up to you. At the event, this particular app is going to give people all the at-event information that they need, including the schedule and everything. But also what people can do with this app is, if you and I are both at the same event in Sydney, and say it's a big event, because we're friends on Facebook and other social media, this app will actually allow me to find out who from my social media circles is at the event as well. So instead of me running into you by luck, right, the app will actually allow those direct connections. So I'd be able to tap you at the event through the app and say, hey, Cydney, you know, if we didn't know each other well, we're good friends on Facebook, and I believe you're at this event as well. Do you want to catch up at the morning tea break? And so all of a sudden, a whole new world of conversation has started. Instead of me coming back a day later or a week later and reading on Facebook that you're at the same event and you were eating dinner on your own and I was eating dinner on my own, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it becomes a complete networking tool. So that's a big solution for a lot of events. I mean, I'm not a very forward person. I'm actually quite shy, believe it or not. And so at events, I'm not that confident in walking up and starting conversations randomly. But with a tool like this, it's so much easier for me to network. And plus, I can, you know, if we have met because one of us has introduced the other, well, we can hook up and do all our social media ongoing after the event without having to, you know, what's your username on Facebook? Oh, hopefully I'll remember you and we'll hook up, you know, all that stuff that happens at the moment. So that's what that event does. And then that app does, sorry. And then post-event, I can continue to promote my business products and services through the app and continue it as a complete sales stream. So instead of my event being a standalone element, through the app, I can now integrate it into the ongoing sales and marketing of my business. So that's my answer to a simple solution to an everyday problem in the event industry. I mean, I've been in that industry since 1992. So it didn't take too long actually for me to figure out what the biggest problems are, everyday problems, and my app's a simple solution to that. On the next slide, another scenario is what I'm calling my Author Profits app. And as you know, I've written a couple of books and I've got another one in the works right now. Well, this app is going to allow authors to promote and share content from their books, as well as actually sell their book through the app. So again, opening up for authors a whole new stream and pathway of conversation that they didn't have previously. So they're just a couple of examples based on what we've already shared. Now let's move into the other 7 fundamentals, which are all around what I said earlier, that if you don't have that creativity that I've just ran through in your business or in your mind, and you just say, you know what, I don't want a stupid app that no one will remember or won't find valuable. I still want a sales mechanism, and I still want all the latest and greatest technology that a leader or a superstar would have. So if the ideas aren't flowing to you right now, these next 7 or final 7 fundamentals that I'm going to run through, if you put these alone into an app with some basic information about you, what you do, and also some information perhaps that helps your marketplace, then you can still have a complete selling funnel. Okay?
Okay.
So let's move into the next one. So the second fundamental of why mobile apps are so magical for us is that the mobile technology fused with the internet technology. So on the internet, there was no way of really knowing where I was or making that relevant to doing business with you. However, as soon as we got into the mobile smartphone arena and that technology that we talked about earlier that once became a place to store data, not just a phone, then we were able to incorporate GPS, which is your global positioning. So no matter where I go on my phone, especially now with Google Maps, I can literally walk down the street and on Google Maps it shows me exactly where I am. And if I type in an address where I want to go to, it leads me to it. However, I have to open up a browser, I have to open up Google Maps, I have to type all that information in and then, start. Whereas in a great business app for leaders, the types of apps I'm talking about here, with the technology today, you can simply put in a GPS function into your app that's specifically related to your business. So let's say I come to Sydney next week, and like I am Sydney, right?
Yeah.
And while I'm up there, I want to catch up with you, and you say, look, meet me at this bar. Well, if I had an app from your business, I could open that up, and let's say the bar is your business, I could open up the map within your app and say, show me how to get to Sydney's business, and hit go, and it would GPS in, this is where you're standing right now, and this is where you need to go, and it will give me a pathway to your door. So imagine how handy that is for people that otherwise can only go, I can't find the place, I'm driving around and around, Whereas if you had an app for your business, the GPS locator will help people find you easily and show them exactly how to get to your door.
Wonderful, yeah.
And then there's another thing. Yeah, it is. So this is one of the first fundamentals. This technology is available, and if you have a technician for your app that tells you they can't do it, get another technician, because it's just standard stuff now in apps, as it is on Google Maps, on Google, right? The other thing is something called augmented reality, which is where today with this GPS technology, I'm able to actually do things in an app that includes this. If I were David Jones or Maya, my app, and I'm just using them as an example, my app, if I were David Jones and I had an app and you had that open in my store, you could literally hold that phone in front of you, and as you do a circle, just on the spot, a 180-degree circle, little messages would come up as it's scanning where you are in my store, and it would tell you where that's the shoe department, that's makeup, and you keep turning around in your circle, and and if you point it up ways, it'll show you what's above you, or below, and if you point it down ways, if your floor is below you, it'll show you what's available on the floors below you. And then you could get into it, let's say it was ladies' shoes, you could get into that section of the store, and then you want a particular brand. Well, all the brands would come up that David Jones stocks, and then you could say, okay, I'm interested in, you know, I don't know, the Diana Ferrari range. So you tap that on the app, and then it says, oh, well, they're just over in this direction, walk this way, and there they all are. You don't have to find a shop assistant, you don't have to read all the store signs. You can work it out before you even get to the store where you want to go, you know. So that's how sophisticated this technology can be.
Jenny, we've just lost your sound again. Sorry. Yeah, we just lost your sound. But yeah, and imagine that would actually cut back on you could use these apps to cut back on how many employees you have to have and, you know, how much customer service you have to offer. So you could easily actually have economies in your business.
Without question. That's right. New business in this digital age does not have to equal increased overheads. And that's a paradigm. If you can get into that paradigm, you're going to start truly thinking and behaving like a superstar. More business does not mean increased overheads, not in today's digital world. And in fact, in some cases, can even reduce your overheads. Yeah, how's that for a mind alterer?
Yes.
We've been programmed to think like that, right? It's a whole new economy, it's a whole new world, and this technology really, if you leverage it effectively, you can do things like you just said there, even reduce staff, which is, who doesn't want to reduce their staff? Anyway.
Well, yeah, and you can potentially put a lot of the service that you're having to provide manually into a digital form, so that people can help themselves. Yep. Like my son and I were at a restaurant, you know, when he was about 9 years old, and he was saying, why don't they put menus electronically in the tables so that we don't have to wait for waiters? And you know, when adult mouths are babes, you know.
Well, he was just ahead of his time, Cydney, because that sort of stuff is all, you know, businesses are building that into apps now.
Yes.
That sort of thing. You know, the pizza stores have really picked up on it, but there's a lot of restaurants. I saw one actually when I was in San Diego recently where that exact scenario is happening. So you can order your meal in advance, book your table for a certain time, book how long after your table booking time you want your meal to be served, and what you want served, and you arrive and your table's all set, the wine you want is ready to go, and you can have your meal, and you know, anything else you want you can obviously ask for. You still get service and everything. You're not sitting there waiting to get served, you know, standing in the line, you know what I mean? None of that. It's like it's all pre-organised. So that's all part of that augmented reality, and it's incredible what can happen. But GPS and obviously the extended technology now, we've kind of almost moved out of that conversation, but all those things are possible. And that, I mean, how much pressure does that take off restaurants? How many times have you been to a restaurant and you can wait 20 minutes even just to get a table, you know?
Yeah, and plus, you know, all that, the amount of people that the waiter can't get to, or the amount of people they can't seat, that's all reduced turnover. That's reduced profit.
Correct. Correct. And you know what? You're sitting there and you want another bottle of wine and you're trying to get their attention or whatever. Well, you could have all of that organised or even ordered while you're in the store, in the restaurant, via an app. Now, how's this? You're out for the day. I don't know, maybe you've gone to the footy or something and you've decided on the spur of the moment you want to go somewhere and do something. Well, again, you know, you can beat the crowds and defy the odds. And if people are in a hurry more today than they've ever been, Cydney, and if your business can save people time, that's a massive, massive, massive advantage you've got over your competitors. So the same scenario. Well, you know what, their food's a bit better, but they take so much longer. Let's go here.
Yes.
Right? So sometimes just efficiency, even in food and beverage, can have your business win over someone else. Now, hopefully you've got the outstanding food to go with it.
Well, and I can say, imagine for a clothing shop who actually carries plus-size clothing, what a fantastic, you know, or if you're a chain, for instance, and I'm just thinking out loud, but, you know, I don't know about you, but I have trouble finding clothes that fit me in certain cities.
I do, yes.
So you could, you know, so imagine if you actually shopped with a chain shop came out with an app that told you what sizes were available in each of the shops, and you wouldn't have to waste your time going in.
Swinging around, and yeah, and you know what? And more of these chain stores that you go into today, they won't even do the ringing around for you anymore. They have the attitude of, well, I can give you the other store's phone numbers and you can ring them if you want. You know, I've had that sort of thing told to me, you know, in some of the retailers.
It's not even, I haven't even, a lot of the time I've actually stood in shops fighting over the last size, 14 with another lady who spotted it before me, so.
There you go. So, this augmented reality part of, fundamental number 2 is a real game changer. Now, some of the scenarios we've ran through there, not every programmer will have off or on tap, if you know what I mean. So some of the ideas that we've read through there are a bit beyond what I was saying, if you can't do it, leave him sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
But the basic GPS locations and locator element, that's something that every app can simplify business transactional business communication. I mean, imagine that in the medical field where you get referred to specialists that you've never seen of or heard of before, and you've got to damn well find them in some big hospital facility or something. It's mind-altering. A simple little GPS makes all the difference. This is my office right here. Or in a university, if you've ever tried to find lecturers' offices in universities, oh gosh, it's crazy. Anyway, on to the next fundamental. Fundamental 3, one-touch calling. A simple tap through an app and you can make your phone ring if you want to. So again, think about the clumsy ways that people have to find your number. No one's using Yellow Pages these days. At least most people are going to Google and they'll Google you, and then hopefully your listing comes up under what they Google. Then hopefully you've got a contact page that hopefully has a phone number on it. Hopefully they can easily dial up on their mobile phone. Well, if you've got an app, you can simply have a button, an image that says tap to call us. So one little tap with the thumb or forefinger and bang, your phone's ringing. So again, you've taken away the pain in the moment. I'm out on the road and my car breaks down, or, something's happened at home and, I've got a local tradesman or handyman service app, and I can simply just open it up on my phone, hit contact us, and the phone rings. And the guy's on the other end, yeah, how can I help you? That versus the other cumbersome way that business is done. It's so streamlined and it's in real time. Remember I was saying I want it and I want it now? You just take the pain out for people in tracking you down. If you have the sort of business where you want the phone to ring, of course, right?
Yeah.
Most traditional businesses do. So that's the third fundamental there. Did you have anything you wanted to add on that one at all, Cydney?
Well, my brain's going kind of crazy with all of, the things that I'm thinking that you can do with apps now, so. But I don't want to muddy the waters, so I'll just let you keep going.
All right, so the next fundamental, number 4, is that through an app, a leadership app, for us in our business, we call them our gold level apps. For this purpose, we'll call them superstar apps. The fourth fundamental is many other ways that people can connect with you through your app that you may not realise. So we talked about the map locator. You've got the website, so you can have a link, obviously, to your website, any part of your site or parts of your site that you want to. You can have a click to email us if you want to. And then when you look at the sharing element of it, you can see there on the image you've got share by email. So if someone wanted to share anything about your business or even just to download the app, you can put a little tap button in there. So someone could I could send you by email details of what I found from this business, So here I am, I've just found this tradie, and you're like, oh, who is he? I don't have time to download the app. That's all right, I'll email you the details. I open up his app, hit share by email, type in your email address, or hook up to your contact details in my phone address book, so I don't even have to type your email in because I know you, right? And boom, you would get all those details on your push, on your mail, that if you have it on your smartphone. A share on Facebook, share on Twitter, share by SMS. So I could even SMS you the details if I had someone's app, business app or superstar app, that had this feature in it. So again, you don't have to wait for someone to get online, go on Facebook, share it, blah, 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 bang. From within the app, you can do those 4 and a whole lot more, by the way.
Yes.
So there's many ways for people to connect with you and to connect your business with other people. So this is almost like the viral aspect of you know, the app, if you like. So again, another fundamental that anyone who knows their stuff in the industry will be able to provide for you in an app. So again, I just want to emphasise, even if you don't have the superstar idea of the simple solution, just these features alone are game changers, and they're just fundamentals, like they're standards, right? Have a look at the next one, number 5. Just like on your website, but totally simplified, list subscription. People can opt into your mail list instantly through your app. And you can see there are a couple of boxes that are optional for people to tap and type, but you can also have a feature where it just harvests the email address that you've got entered in your phone and obviously your name, which is registered to your smartphone. So on, you know, on these apps, you can have it that people can have the option to type it in, because they may want to use a different email address, right? Or they may not want to give their full name, or just, you know, use my phone contact details. Bang. So by having your app, you can actually have it open up with a mailing list offer. You know, would you like to receive a free report or whatever it might be that you offer? And people can go, yeah, I do. So they tap that, and now they go straight into your autoresponder. Doesn't matter what you're using. You might be using contact mail, you might be using Aweber, you might be using AutoWeb Business, you might be using One Shopping Cart. You know, it doesn't matter what you're using. These people can get added into your mailing list, bada boom. So you don't have to get them to go to a web page and sign up. It's right there in the moment. And if you make it open up when the app first opens up, even better, right? Because you grab them on the entry point. Does that make sense what I'm saying there?
Yeah, it's great.
So you can continue to build the business system that you've already got established through the app if you're building a database of mail that you mail out to. And
so give me an example. Give me an example of how you could use this, say, if you're a person that goes to a lot of networking events, and up till now you've been collecting business cards and keeping them in a shoebox.
Well, yeah, if you had an app...
Or you've got a whole bunch of salespeople who do that, or, you know, you're in the business of connecting, say, for instance, and you want to build up your... Sorry, I'm probably... Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, you know, there would obviously be refinements to this idea, but off the top of my head, what I would suggest you would do is have a simple fundamental app. Don't need to be creative or anything, and encourage people to download the app. And when they do, they'll be invited to join your exclusive mailing list. You could get them to do it in front of you while you're standing at ships sipping champagne with them. You know, pull out their phone, send them to the Android store or the Android market, or the App Store. Search for you, find you, download your app, hit the button, and they're in.
Great.
You don't even have to look for a card. Yes, that's just a simplified scenario that anyone could do if you've got that facility. I mean, the whole thing here would be to get people to download your app in the moment. You know, or you need to get our app and get them to do it. And then there's no going back and entering later on and following up or anything. You just bang, it's done in the moment, and you can move on. So shops
could use this. So shops could use it theoretically to build their client lists. And, you know, if you've got a small business and a restaurant or a shop, they can actually have the clients sign right on their mobile phones rather than having to go through a manual process. Great.
Correct. And you can actually even have loyalty programs built into it. And I didn't put it in today because I wasn't sure if that would be too much information, you know. But seeing as though we're talking about it, if you want to, you know, you can, that's pretty fundamental. Certainly in any app we build, we always build in a loyalty program. So, you know, for the small business like that, that's perfect. But, hey, download our app and get on our free loyalty program. Get on our mailing list for special offers. And away you go. You know,
Great.
It's that easy. Yeah, and people are always carrying their phones with them. That's the power of this amongst everything else. So hopefully, even though we've still got 3 more to go, I hope you're starting to see just how, and I'm going to say it, freaking amazing, not only the technology is, but the opportunity for businesses with apps, and why I thanked you at the start for allowing me to share it. That's how passionate why I'm so passionate about it. This stuff is game-changing.
Yeah, I love it. It really positions you above and beyond, you know, whatever your competitors do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And you know what? The marketplace will follow the leaders, as it always does, but the leaders are the ones that everybody remembers, and the leaders are the ones that take advantage of ideas as they take off, and apps are just starting to take off. So now's the time to act anyway, put it that way. So let's have a look at the next fundamental, easy social sharing about your business. So this is a little different to the sharing I was doing before where, you know, I might want to share in social media about a particular business whose app I might have. In this case, you can link your app to your social media presence, whether that's a fan wall on Facebook where you can get people to comment. You can even get people to comment in competitions, right, or giveaways or whatever you want to do. So you make the app part of a gaming idea, you know. Now, again, that's coming into the creativity realm. Even if you don't want to do that, you know, simply if you go onto our Facebook page and mention you've got our app on Facebook, you know, you'll get a free, I don't know, bit of salami next time you buy our pizza. So you know what I mean? You can actually have that as part of your social media strategy. That's really what I'm getting at there. And so it doesn't have to operate in isolation from other marketing that you're doing, and I wanted to particularly mention social media, obviously because of the theme of this particular presentation. And so we're talking about you can link it to what and drive people to your Facebook, to your LinkedIn, to your Flickr or any other Instagram seems to be one that's going to take over there now, YouTube, your blog. You can see the orange icon in the bottom row there in the middle. That represents your blog, and of course Twitter. So you can actually use the app as a way to drive traffic to your social sharing. Does that make sense, Sid?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. So if you have a really well-developed social strategy, integrate the app not only to have links, but integrate the idea of people using their apps to get to your social media, so that you're engaging them on two levels. Getting them into your app and getting them to remember to use your app, and also getting them into the social media scene through the app as well. So again, fundamental, anyone should and could do this for you, and make sure they can before you engage them. You know, these are the fundamentals you want to be ticking off. Can you do this for me? Can you do this for me? Can you do this for me? And then if you get all yeses there, and then you've got an idea that's a simple solution on top of that, great. If not, if you've got these others, then you're cooking anyway. You're smoking miles ahead, even just with these. So let's have a look at fundamental number 7. We're nearly there. You can put a feature into your app for listing any events that you have. Now, whether they're public or live or in-person type events, or whether they're even just promotional events that you're doing. So maybe you have an end of financial year sale, maybe you have a spring sale. You know, if you have any sort of cycling in your business of special occasions or events, you can create a tab, if you like, in your app dedicated to that. And it acts as its own little almost reminder for people, as well as education, that you have all these things. So if it's built into the app separately, and why this is fundamental is you don't have to hope that they see your promotional campaign at the time it's running, right? They might see that you have a Christmas sale or a clearance or whatever, every May, and they might find that in October. Now, would you prefer them to buy in October? Yes. Could it mean that they might hold on instead of buying? Yes. But they're going to buy, right? That's what you want to do. You don't have to run your specials through it, mind you, if you feel too vulnerable doing that. It's just a place for you to have that's dedicated to special occasions or events that you might hold through your business. And if you are some sort of live venue, then this is, absolutely critical, where you can list everything that's coming up in your business or at your business site. So this is a feature that you want to get, because even if you just have 2 events or 2 promotions throughout the year, it's worth listing them here so that people are aware of them. And it's amazing what you can do when people know that you have special offers on. Let's say it was that scenario I was talking about. Well, why couldn't you make it a special offer just for people that own apps in November? Why do they have to wait until the following May or June or whenever it was I said? You could have special offers just because they're on the app. So, you know, if you're going to have a special, well, have the special when people are ready to buy, I say, you know.
Well, I love this
So,
one. I love this one because, you know, like I'm thinking for webinars and things that we do regularly, you know,
perfect.
we might want to get together and talk about something really exciting. And it's difficult to get it out to people nowadays because of
That's right.
people are not going to get a chance to read our emails because their inboxes are too full. And even Facebook events and things like that are becoming really crowded, LinkedIn events, things that
Yep.
worked initially when they were new, but everyone reads their phone.
That's it. You got it. Which brings us to the final fundamental, and it is the sexiest or the most exciting of them all, and it ties into the points that I made and you made in with this particular one fundamental we're talking about. So number 8 is the ability to have instant communication. In your app, you can have something, this fundamental called push notification, and it's basically a supersession of SMS marketing. SMS marketing not only got a really bad name, but people were very reluctant to divulge their information because they didn't want that invasion in their private space. I mean, your mobile phone space is so intimate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you only want the stuff in there that you really want. So SMS marketing, you know, text marketing, I obviously don't personally have a problem with. I'm a marketer and I get it. But for a lot of individuals, they were abused by people that used it, businesses that used it poorly. And so, and even today, and even me, I'm reluctant to hand over my mobile phone number just for SMS marketing because you know what they're going to do. It's just going to be a constant barrage of, you know, stuff, right? But with push notifications, you can have the same benefit of SMS marketing without being a pest, because people have opted to download your app. They want to be a part of what you do, and in downloading your app, they're also giving you permission, and they actually are asked on downloading your app for the permission to send you information through push notification. So they're opting in to SMS marketing, and the uptake rate is much, much higher than traditional SMS marketing because people want what you do, otherwise they wouldn't be downloading your app in the first place, right?
Yeah.
So with push notification, you can send out 160 characters maximum. So it's a bit like Twitter. Whatever you can tweet, you can push notify to your database of app downloads. So you actually can monitor who downloads your app, and you have all that data stored for you in your app service. So, you know, for example, in your depending on who you use with us, obviously, you know, I offer all this stuff. I mean, I'd be mad not to, right?
Yeah.
And you'll find this with most providers, that what they'll do is they'll offer you a service where you can log in and send out a push notification to anyone that owns your app. So we maintain a database, and you'll find most providers do, because, you know, it's a business within itself, obviously. But take this scenario, right? You're a local hair salon and somebody's just rung up and cancelled a 2-hour appointment this afternoon. Well, not only is that a total loss of income, it's a total loss of time. I mean, it's dead time, and you've got to hope someone walks past your salon in the street and sees you and is ready to be, you know, serviced there in that moment. Otherwise, you're sitting in your store twiddling your thumbs, right, waiting for the appointment that's in 2 hours' time. Well, cop this. With push notification, you could send out, you know, a message like you can see the example there. It's basically an SMS, and you could say, hey, you're in luck. Thanks for downloading my app. I've got a special gift for you. I've just had a cancellation. It's in 2 hours' time. If you want to come in, haircut for half price. Tap to call them and lock it in. And you've just taken that absolute dead time and turned it into income that you didn't and you wouldn't have had because of that loss of appointment. So that's in a salon. I mean, it could be any business where time is traded for dollars. You know, you can use that scenario and use push notification. But obviously, push notifications or SMS texting can be used for anything, any special offer, any special news, anything that you want to, that you think important enough to move into people's sacred space. You know, if you respect it, they will respect you back. Anything you think is valuable enough for people to know instantly, you use your push notification service to do for you. And it's as simple as you log into a platform, like I said, like what we have, and you just type in what you want and you hit go, and it goes to everybody who owns your app. Shows up on their phone like an SMS, and it's 98% guaranteed to be read.
Wow.
And read right away. Now, that is a game changer compared to email, which in the internet marketing arena, they're celebrating if 10% of a mail out gets opened.
Mm-hmm.
And then it doesn't all get opened straight away. It could be opened a week later. So
sometimes 3 months. Sometimes.
Yeah, that's right.
We can see who on our old system, we could see who opened their emails, and sometimes it would take them 3 to 6 months to come through.
There you go. Well, that's not going to help a business who just had a cancellation for a 2-hour appointment this afternoon. So that one is big, and why I saved it to last, and I tied into everything we've talked about, that you have this ability in the moment to reach your market and give them something valuable in that moment that will add to their gratitude for having your app and being connected to your business. You can continue to reward them for being a part of your business ecosystem, if you like, by having a download of your app on their phone. So they are the 8 fundamentals to why these things are so magical, so wonderful, whatever the words are that you want to attach to it, and distinctive improvements on just having a web presence alone are relevant and can link directly to your entire social media strategy. And I think above everything, Sid, what we were saying at the start, this is what a leader does. They get things like this and they get involved. Even if you don't have that creative idea, you get in the game so that you are always ahead of the pack and you're not someone that follows everyone when it's game over and it's all too late. I was telling people to get businesses on the internet and pleading with them to do it, 5, 6 years ago, and people would say, oh, it sounds really great, maybe one day. Well, one day comes and goes, and one day of inaction costs you more than you are able to measure, because you just don't know how much more valuable that could have been to your business if you'd gotten involved. That's pretty much all I can say, and I'll just over to you for whatever's next, honey.
Well, I think what sort of, when you first started talking about it, I was kind of, it seemed a bit overwhelming because of the creative thinking. But once you went through the 8 fundamentals, and thank you as always for breaking it down for us so that it was easily sort of accessible information. But I think what I started realizing was, anything in your business that you're not getting time for that would be really beneficial to your clients and improve your interaction with them, is particularly in a profitable way, that you're just not getting time for because there's no people to do it, that you could turn into an app. You should definitely be doing.
Yeah.
So if you know that, for instance, once people have made an order, if you were to do a follow-up call, they are 50% likely to order more, then you should turn it into an app.
You got it. Oh, that's so succinct. That's fantastic, Sid. You've nailed it. Come work with me.
Yeah, I'm excited. I want some apps. So,
yeah, well, I understand that, and that's how I feel. And once people get this, it's absolutely, you're crazy to not be doing something, even if it's just getting the fundamentals turned into an app for you.
And are they expensive? Are they expensive to build?
No. Well, look, like everything, you'll get different prices in different places. And to have these powerful elements in it, you're not going to pick that up for $100, and I think that's understandable, right? And to have all these facilities ongoing, you're going to have an ongoing fee. Our gold level apps are, that have all of these and some other stuff as well. Like these are actually just the 18, and we're just about to go to 20 features, and I've only given you 8, right? They retail for $1,770, so it's $1,700, and you get all of this. And then the ongoing, it's like $1 a day, ongoing after the first month. So it's in terms of cost of business, it's next to nothing. But look, these cheaper versions than that, that we offer, and our basic app, which is really more like a brochure, is $95. So, there's a whole lot. If you just switch to the next slide, there, I've actually got it there.
Yep.
There's a great range of apps available, and ours actually start from $95, and we can put it on the page. I think you've got a link on the last slide there where people can go to find out more. But to have the one that's currently got everything I've talked about here, plus another 10 features, soon to be 12 features more, we sell those at $1,700 because it's not just a matter of for us banging them all together. It's actually making sure it all works as I keep using the word ecosystem, that it's a strategic system for you, not just an app that has all this stuff going on it, But the old days, people just stuck stuff on websites, but it wasn't strategic. So it costed us a lot more time to do that, and that has to be paid for, But I think you could pick up a similar sort of app to what I'm talking about, from $1,200 in the marketplace. You just got to hope you get someone that's going to put that extra brain juice in it for you. That's all. But look, gosh, the cost of not having one, I think, is really what people got to worry about.
Yeah, I'm thinking for a lot of businesses, this is going to be recouped very quickly, that kind of a price range.
Oh, yeah.
It wouldn't, if you've got the right app, then you would surely be able to bring more
Correct.
business in. So can I ask you about these
and
slides?
You look at it as a investment.
As an investment, yeah. You've got free web show series. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, just quickly, if you want to know more information, in other words, if you feel you want to educate yourself more, I've set up a web show series, and the link will be, to get to that, will be on the page. I take you through the fundamentals of planning an app. Is one web show. Another web show, we actually talk about social media apps.
Oh, great.
Apps on Facebook in particular. The third show, if this really, really appeals to you, the third show in the series actually is a business opportunity. So I'm looking for partners that want to set up your own shop front selling the apps that we provide on the back end. And so there's actually an invitation in the third show to do that. In the fourth show, we talk about things like QR codes, and then in the later shows, we dig down into building things like gaming apps and, the much more sophisticated stuff. Right up to, although I'm not building any apps like this, but right up to apps like if you wanted to build something like Angry Birds. So we drill right down into those more unique gaming and education type apps as well. And of course, we have an app people can download, and we'll put the link on that. The link on your
webpage.
As well. Yeah, of course.
Wonderful.
And so, our app will take you through an experience. So you'll be on our app seeing how we use all the different technologies as well. So that will all be available to everybody through your link set.
Oh, wonderful. So, and of course, the link is Social Superstar Secrets /Jennie Armato. And it's ARMATO. And Jennie is with an IE. So Jennie Armato. And those sound just terrific, the web show series. And I love the idea of if somebody's looking for a business opportunity, that you guys can provide the apps. All they need to do is show them to the shops and show them to the business owners and,
and
bring in the orders.
We have a platform where, if you're interested, or anyone that's interested in the business opportunity of setting that up, what you sell the app for, you keep 100% of that up front. So it's not just an affiliate program. It is actually, a business identity that you can create in your own right. So,
wonderful.
We've thought that through quite succinctly to make sure that those people that really capture this vision and where the world's going, and you see it as maybe an extension to what you're already doing. Maybe you're a social media provider or a webmaster, or you're somehow or another connected to technology, or you want to get in this game because you're sick and tired of what you're doing, which was kind of my story. I got bored and burnt out with what I was doing and moved into the app arena, and I think it's pretty obvious to see just how fulfilling it and how much fun it's been for me, because I get to express the creative side as well as the structured side of my brain. So I feel like I'm being a complete person again.
Yeah. And of course it's got to be another one of these massive opportunities where if you get in early, you can really reap the benefit of a a growing trend and something that, because
That's
I
the
mean,
key.
I see the big opportunity is moving the communication onto the mobile phone because of this thing that we talked about before, where it's getting to be crowded. Communication is a crowded platform.
Absolutely.
So, you know, and that's the one medium, as you said, that's very personal and people actually do pay attention.
Absolutely. And, you know, I wouldn't want to be attached to anyone except people that are carrying the superstar energy, because that way you're going to do it sensibly, strategically, and sensitively to your marketplace. And, you know, when you and I talked about doing this, I thought, yep, superstars, if it's attracting people that carry that energy or emanate that energy, that, you know what, I'm a leader and I'm bloody good at what I do and I should be known and respected at the highest level, they're the sorts of people we want to do business with.
Well, one of the most exciting things about putting a summit like this together is we all get a chance to see what each other are doing, and then we all end up joint venturing. So we've got some, you know, we've got some brilliant people in this interview series, and we're, you know, they're all starting to see what the other one's doing and saying, hey, we should partner up, which is, you know, really exciting. And I've actually had quite a few of them tell me they want me to publish their books, so you know, I'm already a winner.
Awesome. Love that.
Yeah.
You know, that's how the world turns these days, isn't it? Collaboration, let's do it together and be meaningful and powerful in the market. You know, it's a world where we've got the opportunity to do something special and meaningful for people. And, you know, I find this whole technology aspect of apps does it too, and I just love that you're getting new business out of it as well. It's fantastic. Good on you, Pat and the courage.
I know, it's wonderful. And, you know, and they're all, and of course I get to invite all the people that I love working with to be a part of this, because I only showcase people that I, you know, wholeheartedly know, look after their clients and, you know, have a fresh message and are doing the right thing. So, you know, it's just fun. We get to all collaborate and talk regularly and see what the other one's doing, because we're all busy. So, you know, as much as social media has meant that we get to keep in touch a lot more than we used to, it's still, again, it's crowded too.
Yeah.
It's still nothing like getting on the phone to each other.
Good old phone conversations. Well, look, I hope I've been able to help you for listening in and move you forward in this arena, with or without me. It's not about that at this stage. It's about me getting you geared up to be a superstar, not to fail like everything in business. Most people do fail at because they just don't get armed with the right info. Right?
And I think one of the messages that we want people to have from this whole series is that things might be tough out there, but there's a lot of great opportunities still. And we just want to point you in the right direction and show you some of the exciting things that are happening that you can be doing as a consultant or for your business, or, you know, as an employee, even bringing these things to your business and showing them how you can help your boss to have more profit. So hopefully everybody got as much value out of that as I did. And Jenny, thank you so much for everything. I always love getting you on because you've always got something new and exciting, and you're always so far ahead of the pack. So
Thank you.
Thanks everyone for joining us, and definitely come and check out Jenny's page, and we'll put you through to her website. She's got so many websites, or you can Google her, Jennie Armato, and you'll see a lot of amazing things, because one of the things that she does very, very well is superstar positioning. So I would advise you go in and have a look at how incredibly comprehensive Jenny's web presence is. And we talked about that in the book that's coming out, Social Marketing Superstars. So thanks again, and thanks everybody for being here. Bye-bye.